welcome to Mr. Nelson's YouTube video. Today, what we're going to look at are decimals to fractions and converting or changing decimals to fractions. So today in class, this is what we went over, and let's take a look. Alright, today in class we said that there are 3 steps to changing a decimal to a fraction. Step 1 was to write the decimal over again without the decimal. So you're going to write it without the decimal in the number, okay? The step number 2 is to put it over whatever place value you had for your decimal. Okay? Whatever place value you had for your decimal. And your last step is to simplify. Okay? Alright, so here is your place value chart. Okay? We've got our decimal right here. And place value is important for changing a decimal to a fraction. So we've got our place value chart. And here's the hundreds. Okay, hundreds. If you can read that. Here's the tens. Here's the ones. Here's the tenths. Not to be confused with the tens. This is after the decimal point. It's part of a whole. So we've got the tenths. We've got the hundredths. And we've got the thousandths. And this is where we're going to live at when we are changing a fraction or a decimal to a fraction. Okay, we're going to live in this little area here. So any decimal that we're turning into a fraction, we're going to use these place values: tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Okay, so here's my example. My example is 0.45 or 45 hundredths. Okay? Step 1, write without the decimal. So 45. Step 2, put it over the place value. So there's the tenths and the hundredths. So we put our number over 100. Guess what? That is a fraction right there. We did change it to a fraction, but we also need to simplify. So step 3, we need to simplify. So we have to look, what can go into 45 and 100? Well, if they end in a 5 and a 0, 5 can always go into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide 45 by 5. When you divide 45 by 5, you get 9. And if you divide 100 by 5, you get 20. Okay? I know I didn't show you the division, but if you do divide it out, remember it is 100 divided by 5, and you'd have to do that. 5 into 10 gives you 2. 10, subtract, you get 0 and 0. Does 5 go into 0? No, but you do have to put a placeholder up and top. So 5 does go into 100 20 times. Okay? And of course, you can always check your division by multiplying 5 times 20 to get that 100. Alright? So we need to know place value. We need to know our 3 steps. Write it without the decimal. Put it over the place value that it is. And simplify. Remember, decimal to fraction. This is how you convert a decimal to a fraction. shout out. Shout out. In my first and second period, I want to shout out to Freddie. Freddie was working hard today. He was doing everything he could to work at what we are doing in class, and I appreciate him working hard for me. The other shout out I have is for my 5-6 period. My shout out for my 5-6 period goes to Alexis. Alexis, shout out to Alexis. Even when she didn't quite understand how to do something, she asked, or she kept trying, or asked somebody next to them, and she did an amazing job today. She worked hard for me, and I appreciate the work that she put in class. And the very last shout out goes to Jasmine. Oh my goodness, Jasmine was working hard. She was doing what she needed to. She was paying attention. She was making sure that she got things done. She was writing her notes down. She was doing everything she needed to do to be successful in math class. Thank you, Jasmine. And I hope that you enjoyed this decimal to fraction example and notebook.